Joel Schumacher's 1985 film Street Elmo's Fire is one of the two core films responsible for the Brat Pack ensemble. Focusing on the unique situations experienced by 7 young adults in university, the film needed quite a few recognizable young actors to cover all its bases. Schumacher sought advice from director John Hughes, who was building a name for himself writing and directing teen-centric dramatic comedies. He had several references for Schumacher, and 3 of the 7 actors ultimately cast in St. Elmo's Fire also appeared in Hughes' 1985 film The Breakfast Club. Emilio Estevez, Ali Sheedy, and Judd Nelson, or The Athlete, The Basket Case, and The Criminal, respectively, appeared in both films. They subsequently became the core of the teen star-studded Brat Pack. Even though there were 4 more roles available in St. Elmo's Fire, there were 2 actors from The Breakfast Club that were not brought over, Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall, the Princess and the Brain. While their absence may seem like a snub, there's a good reason the pair weren't involved. Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall were still in high school during St. Elmo's Fire. Their Breakfast Club co-stars were much older. Since so much of The Breakfast Club happens in a single room, it relies heavily on the acting chops of all of its young performers. The cast, including Ringwald and Hall, were cited by critics as being central to the appeal of the beloved film. They were certainly good enough for St. Elmo's Fire. The problem was largely due to their age. Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall were just 17 when it was released, even though The Breakfast Club is actually rated R. They were in grade school when the similarly R-rated St. Elmo's Fire was in production. St. Elmo's Fire had grittier subject matter to show, not just talk about. As the characters were a few years out of high school, and out of detention, this increased the amount of adult content happening on screen. There is a fair quantity of drinking, strong language, sex, and cocaine use in the film, which would have been deemed inappropriate for young Hall and Ringwald. Also, they would have seemed noticeably younger than their co-stars, and it might have hurt their believability. The Brat Pack's Breakfast Club casting highlighted a bigger 80s teen movie trend. Many casting choices are still made using this concept. The kids sit in the library in The Breakfast Club. Of those who did appear in both, Emilio Estevez and Ali Sheedy were both 23, and Judd Nelson was 21, which is more in line with the characters' ages in St. Elmo's Fire. Retrospectively, this information affects The Breakfast Club story. The fact that The Athlete and The Basket Case were 6 years older than their teenage co-stars undoubtedly alters their dynamic. However, many films in the 1980s cast actors in their 20s to play characters in their teens. It would be equally strange to see a film with jaded university students being played by actors not yet out of high school.